Welcome back to Forget It, Cuz. All right, so one thing unique about our movie review is that the way that we determine the movie that we are reviewing is random chance through having AI select our movie. If you remember from our first video, we reviewed No Country for Old Men, and in this video we are going to review the one, the only Step Brothers. All right, so I had the chance to watch this recently. I watched this within the last couple of weeks. You did the same, right?
Yes, I did.
So, before the last couple of weeks, it's probably been over a decade since I've seen this movie, and my recollection of it, and my recollection wasn't far off, was that this is a fun movie, a lot of great one-liners, situational comedy. 2008, the director was McKay, I believe. Um, and just as kind of a fun, we'll call it growing up, maturing type movie with a, kind of a dynamic duo, right?
Yeah.
William Farrell and John C. Riley. So, what were some of the things as you were watching the movie that made you laugh, that made you contemplate crying? And then I'll kind of go through kind of the same as we walk through this very unserious movie compared to No Country for Old Men.
Yeah, day and night between these two movies. There's no question about that. So when ChatGPT picked this movie last week, I was like, gosh, I've seen this movie once. I want to say I've seen it maybe twice. Um, and I remember like watching it, I was like, I think that was like the turning point, the inflection point for me where I was like, all right, Will Ferrell was funny for a little bit of time. Obviously, I grew up watching him on Saturday Night Live, kind of in the late 90s, early 2000s, and he did Anchorman. I think by this point, he had done like Stranger Than Fiction, Kicking and Screaming, and he really kind of like exhausted like the Will Ferrell shtick. And so when
Talladega
this
Nights, right? Full
Talladega
School.
Nights, and so when this movie came out, I was like, I really don't have it in me to watch something like this. And so, again, like you, I watched this movie recently. I pulled it up streaming about 2 or 3 days ago. Watched it in two sittings. All right, and my wife had never seen it either. My wife had never seen it. Again, this is like the second, third time I've watched it. And start the movie, and within about the first 5, 10 minutes, as the premise is playing out, how these middle-aged people meet at a conference and they fall in love, and then they realize that they have to disclose the fact that they have two 40-ish old sons living at home. I was like, I can understand there's a nice little premise here. And you kind of mentioned like situational comedy. This could be an easy, like, this could be a sitcom. I think there could
Yeah,
be a lot that you could do with this show as a sitcom.
right.
Uh, Obviously, as a SNL sketch, you could do something with this, but to make it a full, hour and 30, hour and 40-minute movie, I was like, oh my gosh. All right. So you asked the question, did I laugh at this movie? I did. I I didn't want to because going into it, I was like, man, I remember watching this movie, and this is at the point where I was starting to turn against Will Ferrell. And there were parts in this movie that did make me laugh. The first thing that made me laugh was when they move in next door. They have the blind neighbor that says, "Hey, I'd like to come over and touch your face." It's trying to wrestle with that seeing eye dog that was not really a seeing eye dog. That made me laugh. Um, the fact that you know there's some other scenes a little bit later on that cracked me up when they introduce Adam Scott's character into the movie. He goes upstairs in the treehouse. He wants to, say, "You want to punch me right now? I can see you really want to punch me." And they end up punching him. He falls down. That cracked me up. The scene where they're trying to bypass the playground, that part was funny. There's no question. When they build um, the bunk beds and they spend
Yeah.
all time about that, and he gets on it, and then it collapses. That part was funny. Um, yeah, there's some scenes in here. There's some one-liners. Obviously, the scenes that uh, really stand out to me are when they're trying to prevent their brother Derek, played by Adam Scott, from selling the house, and they end up staging all these various scenarios to scare all potential home buyers. That was top notch. Um,
And I love how at one point one of their methods, Adam Scott kind of recognizes like, yeah, that was pretty
yeah,
good.
I mean
What
that,
one thing
it's
that I really love about Adam Scott and in a lot of things that I've seen with him, great villain, right? He's kind of one of those guys where he really plays kind of like a mean character well.
yeah.
One movie that really jumps out at me where he played, the mean character well was like Secret Life of Walter Mitty. I don't know if you ever saw that with Ben Stiller.
I have seen that. He
Yeah,
basically plays the same character in this movie.
right. Yeah,
Yeah,
full beard in that movie.
yeah,
A show where he actually didn't play the villain recently was Severance, which I thought was really good on Apple TV. But he just plays the annoying older brother so well. And especially like when they're in the car and they're singing, right, with him and his
yeah,
family. That was pretty memorable. Another part that I really like you said, is what their way of deterring people from buying the house because they don't want to move out, which means they'd have to grow up
yeah,
or when they're actually interviewing as a team, right? And so that was pretty hilarious. The first time I saw that when he gets asked a question and the stepbrother kind of leans forward and they go, "Is there a reason both of you are in here at the same time?" And and so it's a very funny movie. It's got a lot of one-liners, like you said, and they play the role well of kind of like an immature teenager, right, as they're interacting with each other, and they're both definitely trying to prevent any type of happiness between the stepmom and the stepdad.
yeah. It's by the way, what was the lady's name that was interviewing them for that job? They couldn't
Oh,
pronounce it right.
Miss Lady, is that what you're talking about?
Who was the lady that was interviewing them for that job where they were sitting back to back, basically?
I do not know.
Pam. Pam.
From The Office?
No, it wasn't the same actress, but that was her name. They couldn't pronounce the name Pam.
Oh, that's right. Yep, Pam. Yep. No, that was funny too. There are a lot of funny parts. When they ultimately decide that they're best friends because everything they like aligns, and like you said, with the bunk bed
Yeah.
scene where it collapses, and then Dale runs in and said, "There's blood everywhere. There's blood everywhere." Um,
Scratching the arm right
it,
here, but yeah.
yeah, it's I don't know. It's to me, I like Will Ferrell in that stage. I really like Old School where he wasn't necessarily the main character, but he played a very kind of pivotal role. Talladega Nights, he just, to me, he knocked that out of the park, and it was the same cast, right? John C.
Yeah.
Riley and to me, Anchorman also was very funny. Didn't like the second one as much as the first, but no, it's as he's gotten older, in my opinion, he's kind of picked less roles like this. But it's a fun watch. It's definitely not going to win any awards in my book. It's got some great one-liners. Yeah, the playground scene's hilarious. I'm just trying to think. But who would be good roles? If this was in the '90s, right?
Oh,
Who would be good roles for this in the '90s, where you have two guys, middle-aged, needing to mature.
oof. That's a tough one. I mean, I think the one obvious answer is Jim Carrey because I think he
I was
could pull
thinking
it
the
off.
same exact thing. That's wild. I was thinking Jim Carrey and
So Jim Carrey, if they did this in the 90s, let's say they did it in the late 90s, because by then Jim Carrey would have been 37, 38 years of age, which is about the age of these two characters. So Jim Carrey, let's say you can't do Jeff Daniels, obviously because of Dumb
right,
and
Dumb and
Dumber.
Dumber one and
So
two.
who would be the other stepbrother?
Well, it's funny because they've been in a movie before, and I was thinking about this a little bit earlier. The one that I think they have good chemistry in terms of how they interact on film would be Steve Carell.
That is interesting. Uh,
Bruce Almighty, they kind of played that role where they didn't like each other, right? They're both going for the same role of anchor. And just you could feel that the tension there. And I just kind of thought that'd be kind of funny. Probably about the same age, right? As Will Ferrell and John C.
let's see,
Riley. Yeah.
yeah,
So that was kind of my thought is a Jim Carrey, Steve Carell reunion, free
yeah,
reunion of Bruce Almighty. That could be kind of fun.
yeah. Oh, that's a thinker on that one because what's interesting is Will Ferrell's always been a comedic actor, pretty much. I mean,
Right.
90%, 95% of his movies have been comedies. John C. Riley actually comes from a background where he kind of started out doing more drama, supporting cast roles, and then he kind of transitioned into the comedic roles. Obviously, did this Dewey Cox, uh,
Yep.
which is actually pretty funny. Um,
Sherlock Holmes with Will Ferrell. I never
that's
saw
right.
that, but I heard it
Yeah.
was not great.
But my point is, like, if you wanted to cast somebody uh, as a stepbrother back in the 90s to kind of star opposite of Jim Carrey, you might need to tap into somebody that has more dramatic chops, or at least somebody that is not considered comedic.
Yeah.
Um, which is why I think Jeff Daniels works so well in Dumb and Dumber, because Jeff Daniels, up till that point, was not really seen as a comedic actor, right?
Right.
So I think if you're going to recast this movie in the 90s, obviously had Jim Carrey play one of the brothers, the other stepbrother probably needs to be somebody that has, you know, a filmography that is outside of comedies. I'm going to go off the beaten path here. I think that this guy has shown that he can do comedy. He obviously did it in Tropic Thunder. They're about the same age. I would like to see Jim Carrey and Tom Cruise.
Okay. Okay. At first, I thought you were going to lean toward Ben Stiller and Jim Carrey.
That could probably work better.
Yeah, but
But
Ben Stiller's got
again, if
the
I want to go outside of the comedic route, I'd
shirt.
probably pick Tom Cruise.
All right. Well, it's so funny. One of my thoughts, and they're not really comedy, but I think they could kind of make it work. Either it would probably be really hard for them, but it'd be kind of funny seeing them try. Would be like Sly and Russell, or Sly and Arnold. Where
When you say Russell, you mean Kurt Russell?
Kurt Russell, yeah.
Yeah, there's a movie called Tango and Cash starring Sylvester Stallone and Kurt Russell.
That's what actually got me thinking. Where it'd be kind of funny to see them because they'd be about the same age, right? Or
Yeah, Stallone might be a few years older, but yeah, they could do the buddy comedy, kind of like they did back in 1989 with Tango and Cash,
Arnold and
or
Sly
like
was.
Sylvester and Arnold did in what was that prison escape movie? What was it called?
Oh yeah, Escape Plan.
Escape Plan.
Yeah, that wasn't great, but it was good.
That'll be on
I
the
definitely,
docket next week.
yeah, I'd rank it as a movie I've seen.
Yeah.
Didn't see the second one. Not many people have.
Is that the
Um,
one with
all
Jason
right,
Statham?
so they're so they're the Expendables, right? The Expendables is kind of fun with every action star from 1980 till 1993.
Yeah.
If all right, the movie's filmed now, right? Who would you
Oh
pick?
gosh, recasting the movie with today.
Yeah,
Um, Again, I'd like to think a little bit outside of the box. I think you'd have to cast somebody that has more of like an action hero, because then finding his counterpart in the movie would be very comedic,
yeah.
and trying to find somebody that has those comedic acting chops. Um, I'll throw one actor and you try to find the other person. Chris Hemsworth.
Hemsworth. All right.
Could you
Um,
imagine him being a 40-year-old person living at home?
Hemsworth. Well, I'm not sure how old this guy is, but it could be about the same age, like a Hemsworth Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
Yeah. uh, Step Brothers Part Two.
Yeah.
Dale and Brennan have kids.
Yeah. And who's playing the Adam Scott character?
Ooh. Well, it would have to have a lot of makeup. I'm going Ben Stiller.
All
Seeing
right.
him reprise his role in Happy Gilmore 2 was was priceless.
Yeah. Well, if there's anybody that can pull it off, it's Ben Stiller, as we know. I will say this in reviewing this movie and watching it, the tone of the movie is probably what still kind of like agitates me about it. It's still like these two, it's very mean-spirited in a lot of ways. The parents are completely justified in being pissed off, especially the father, right? They ruin
Yeah,
his boat. He's mad that they're not growing up, taking on life, taking on interviews, doing the right thing. Like he's completely justified. Like
right,
there is no villain in this movie other than Adam Scott's character.
right.
Uh, that said, I outside of the premise and the tone of the movie, the acting's great. Like I look
Yeah,
at Will Ferrell and John C. Riley, their chemistry is fantastic.
yeah,
Like, and I get it. They're basically playing the equivalent of two 12-year-olds that are forced to live with each other as stepbrothers, right?
right.
And they play that role. They each play their role perfectly. It's
Yeah,
great. And the parents, Richard Jenkins, Mary Steenburgen, they're great in the movie. Like it's well cast, the acting's great. They
yeah,
commit to this movie, even though the plot of this movie is absolutely ridiculous.
yeah.
There's no poor acting in the movie, so I have no complaints from that perspective.
Well, and you know what's kind of fun is first of all, I think it was a few years back, my sister showed me that she bought a Catalina wine mixer T-shirt, and I was like, that's fantastic. So that that was pretty epic, and I heard that they actually started a Catalina wine mixer after the movie came out, right? So that wasn't a thing.
Oh, really?
Another thing I heard about the movie is that they recorded way too much film, like compared to some of the other movies that Will Ferrell had been in, almost like three times the amount of film, which was kind of a unique characteristic about the movie. One thing that I thought was just fantastic toward the end is as they're maturing, right? They're trying to show them as adults, and they're talking about the health insurance that they have, and the dad when everything goes poorly in the at the wine mixer, and he goes, "Man, I hate seeing my son like this. I just want my son to be happy." And I
Yeah.
thought that was just such a sweet moment in that movie for the chaos that pretty much was Brennan and Dale from start till about an hour and 28 minutes in, and for the
Yeah.
dad to be like, "No, man, I don't like seeing my son like this." I thought that was just kind of a sweet moment. It lasts for about 5 seconds, but it was awesome
Yeah.
toward the end.
He tells them how he always wanted to be a T-Rex, uh, as all of us.
And
And
how
by the
they saved the Catalina wine mixer by
way, it was
Will Ferrell singing and John Cena
Riley on the
playing the
drums.
drums. Yep.
Yeah.
And prestige
Well,
worldwide, worldwide.
okay. Speaking of dinosaurs, in this movie, both Brennan and Dell mentioned that their favorite dinosaur is what?
Ooh. Um, hmm, I'm gonna say Brontosaurus,
Velociraptor.
Velociraptor. Oh
Yeah.
no.
So it's all right.
You know, it's a good movie. I just haven't seen it that much. Had it been some of the other movies I've seen way too many times, I probably had a better chance.
Yeah. Another minor cast member that did a really good job, and he kind of plays the same character in every movie, is Rob Riggle, who's like the right-hand man to Adam Scott's character, Derek.
Right.
Just plays that obnoxious, over the top, like wingman type. Obviously, he was a police officer in
The Hangover, right?
The Hangover. That's right.
When they tase Galifianakis in the face.
Yeah. So definitely has a certain type that he plays in movies, and he plays it very, very well. There's no question
Yeah.
about it.
Well, and you know who made a surprise cameo? I think wasn't Seth Rogen one of the interviewing people?
That's right.
So that was
He
kind of an interesting
he
cameo.
he just wanted two guys to hang out with and joke, and then
Yeah.
Dell rips one, and they lose that opportunity.
Well,
So
he gives him the job and then he takes it back, right?
that's correct.
He's like, "You're a good fit." Maybe not.
Yeah.
Uh, so no. Rob also he was in the second Dumb and Dumber. The one with Jim Carrey, like 20 years later.
Okay, I've seen that movie one time. I think you and I saw it at the theater. I don't think I've seen it since
You're
for
not missing
for
much.
certain reasons. I don't.
That one, I'm just leaning toward they shouldn't have remade, or they shouldn't have made a sequel to. But I still enjoy it. It's Jim Carrey doing his thing. All right. So let's see. Next on our to-do list, Se Kevin Bacon. How do you get from Will Ferrell to Kevin Bacon? 6 degrees of separation.
Yeah, and I didn't study for this, so this is off the top of my head. You probably did some research, right?
Well, because of last time, I just went and looked at more Kevin Bacon movies. Because
All right.
I know a lot of actors and actresses, but I didn't know a lot of Kevin Bacon from uh what was it? Nightmare on Elm Street up until whatever he's done recently, which hasn't been much.
Okay. Well,
So
I think I can get there.
I can get there in I think 2 moves.
Can I start with John C. Riley?
Absolutely.
John C. Riley stars in it. This is why I mentioned earlier. John C. Riley was not a comedic actor for a long time. He was kind of a
Yeah.
supporting actor. John C. Riley is in Days of Thunder with Tom Cruise.
Really?
He's one of the crew. He works in the crew pit. I'm sure that's the title of that job. Uh,
Pit crew number one man.
Crew pit guy, curly hair. So John C. Riley is in Days of Thunder with Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is in Cocktail with Elizabeth Shue, who we mentioned last week.
Let's go.
Um, and Elizabeth Shue is in a movie with Kevin Bacon called Hollow Man.
I like it. I actually thought you were going to go Tom Cruise to A Few Good Men.
No, that would have been too much work.
Okay. Well, all right. So based on last week, you know which movie I'm going to connect at the very end.
JFK.
You remember? All right. So Will Ferrell.
Trimmers.
All right. So Will Ferrell plays in a movie called Spirited
Okay.
with Ryan Reynolds.
No, I know where you're going with this. R.I.P.
Ryan Reynolds plays an RIPD. I'm starting to see a trend here.
Keep going.
Say again.
Keep going.
Um, RIPD with Kevin Bacon. And 2 moves. Let's go.
Good job.
Let's see. All right, you do no, you do
I
Will Ferrell.
have to do
I
Will
do
Ferrell
John C. Riley.
in a different pathway, right?
Yeah, different pathway.
Okay. I don't see any way from Will Ferrell to Chris Kattan all the way down. So.
Neither Roxbury, or are we talking Monkey Bone?
All right. Will Ferrell, Kevin Bacon. I was so proud of my John C. Riley one because I just thought that one off the top of my head.
I didn't
Will
realize he
Ferrell.
was pit crew chief number 7 on
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out what other movies Mike Ditka was in because Will Ferrell and Mike Ditka were in Kicking and Screaming together. Uh, let's see. Mike Ditka was on NFL Countdown on ESPN for years with Chris Berman.
with Terry Bradshaw. Terry
Yeah,
Bradshaw,
yeah,
failure to launch.
yeah. You might be onto something. Okay. Will Ferrell. Will Ferrell. Okay, what was that movie with Ryan Reynolds? All right.
Spirited and
I
Apple
won't do
TV.
that. Will Ferrell was in. I might probably have to go Anchorman just because Anchorman has a lot of like cameos and stuff like that. All right. Will Ferrell was in Anchorman 2, which correct me if I'm wrong, had didn't Jim Carrey star in that as a cameo?
Let's see. You said Anchorman 2?
Yeah, isn't Jim Carrey in it? He's like the Canadian
Uh, let's see.
Anchorman 2.
Well, you know what? If you go, I was going to throw out another one. I'm going to
He
give you.
is. He's Scott Riles uncredited.
Or you could go to connect Jim Carrey. You said Jim Carrey and who else? Will Ferrell. That's right.
Will Ferrell, yeah.
Okay,
So can I go that route?
you go that route, man.
Even if he's uncredited, does that still
Absolutely. If he has
okay?
screen time,
I'll do that. Okay.
yeah.
So Jim Carrey also starred in a movie. Um, Kevin Bacon. I really want to connect this with Kevin Bacon in the movie The Air Up There because I actually like that. He plays Jimmy Dolan for St. Joe's. Um,
He's got a bad knee in that, right?
yeah, it's a cute movie. Jim Carrey. So I'm in the 90s. I got to connect Kevin Bacon with Jim Carrey. Um, oh my gosh. So Will Ferrell, Anchorman 2, Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey stars in um, Kevin Bacon. What were you in? Oh, I got it. Jim Carrey was in Bruce Almighty with Jennifer Aniston. Jennifer Aniston was in a movie with Kevin Bacon called Picture Perfect.
That is impressive, my friend.
Thank you.
Or I'm gonna have to go John C. Riley here. Oh, I got it. I think I got it here. All right. John C. Riley.
Let me guess. He did a cameo in R.I.P.D.
All right, all right. I'm not gonna lie to you. No RIPD will be mentioned in this next 6 degrees of separation. All right.
Okay.
John C. Riley was in Talladega Nights with
Okay.
Michael Duncan Clark, right?
Okay.
Michael
And
Duncan
what
Clark.
was his role in that movie? Crew pit guy?
Yeah. He may have played the same role that John Cena played in Days of Thunder. By the way, I've heard they're coming out with a sequel. I don't know if that's true or not. Um,
Days of Thunder
yeah, Days of Thunder 2.
with Tom Cruise.
Yep.
All right. So they're doing basically saying, all right, Brad Pitt could play a Formula
Yeah.
One racer. Tom Cruise
All
is the
right.
same age. He can do it too. Okay.
So John C. Riley, Talladega Nights with Michael Duncan Clark. Michael Duncan Clark was in The Green Mile with Tom Hanks.
That's correct.
Tom Hanks was in Apollo 13 with
Gary Sinise.
BLT. Gary Sinise and the one, the only, the bacon.
You know what? I just thought that they should remake Step Brothers, but with Kevin Bacon and John Hamm, and they would call it Ham and Bacon.
Bacon and ham.
So,
The bacon and ham cut.
yeah.
Um, no, it's a fun movie. It's all right. Now, give it a ranking, 1 to 100. But here's the thing. I feel like No Country for Old Men, right? We both gave our rankings between 90 and 100, right? Phenomenal movie. Arguably one of the best movies ever, right? Definitely one of the best movies since probably 2000, right? Um, when you rank a movie like Step Brothers, right? I think the challenge is always, do you rank it on the entertainment value, like the fun comedy, or do you rank it on the story, right? Because I'll play that Rotten Tomato game, and it'll get like some movies will get like a 20 in Rotten Tomatoes, but audience score is like a 78, right? So how do you rank a
Yeah.
movie like Step Brothers? I don't even know.
Well, after the first 10 minutes of the movie, I was going to be like, this is a 20. All right. I want, but then I finished it,
Did the
you know,
needle move?
and the movie does have heart. It does. I hate to say it. It has heart. And there is some learning, there is some evolution, there is some maturation of the characters, both
Right.
Dell and Brennan, as well as their stepdad, as well as even Derek to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, don't they give each other hugs at the very end?
Yeah,
Where they
very
try.
awkwardly,
Say again.
very awkwardly.
Yeah.
So if I was going to grade this movie from 1 to 100, 100 being the all-time greatest movie ever, one probably being be the movie that we grade next week.
Yeah.
Um, I would say this movie, even though it's a comedy, even though the premise of the movie is very suspect, I give it a 68.
Impressive. Yeah. It's so funny. Before you said that, I kind of like went ahead and just put a number in my head. I was gonna give it a 65. So
Yeah.
it's a fun movie. It has a good the plot isn't anything special, but the actors really knock it out of the park for what it
Yeah,
is.
I agree. They
And
committed.
it's it's over the top. The sleepwalking scenes were fantastic. Um, when they crashed the boat, seeing the dad respond was fun, especially since it's not real. Oh, I also heard that they had potentially planned a rap album after this movie. So it had a lot of fun, kind of like outside when you're kind of learning about how the movie was made. It's got some fun facts to think about. No, 65. I think it was a solid movie. Like I said, a lot of great one-liners. Um, it's never going to win an award for best motion picture, but it's also not the worst movie. And Will Ferrell does exactly what he's supposed to do. You know.
What was your, what's the funniest part of the movie?
Let's see. The funniest part of the movie. I think the part that I laughed the loudest was a couple of their attempts to prevent the sale of the house. And then I also liked another part I don't think we'd mentioned yet was when I think it was John C. Riley who knocked Will Ferrell uh into the ground and he's like starting to cover him, like bury him
Yeah.
alive. And he
Yeah.
hits him, he says, "Shut up, you're gonna wake the neighbors." And then I think Will Ferrell fights his way out of it and they think he's like a zombie.
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite part.
Yeah. For me, the best part, just because I think it was good writing, was when John C. Riley's, I don't know if he's talking to a therapist or he's talking to somebody, and they ask him, "So, what do you do?" He's like, I'm a janitor at a school, and I'm smarter than everybody there, and I can work out all these complex math problems." He's like, "Wait a minute, is this Good Will Hunting?" And to me, that cracked me up.
Oh yeah, that that was a very very good scene as well. So yep. All right. So is it time to figure out what movie we're reviewing next week?
Oh gosh. So let me get a couple
Pull up
things.
AI. I think action is in store. What do you think?
Okay. So we want to review an action movie. Um, and what time frame?
Probably what 1990 to what did we do last week? Was it 1990 to 2010 or 2020?
I think 2010.
Okay. Yeah, 1990 to 2010 sounds good. Fingers crossed, Point Break.
Okay, Point Break. If people ask us what our favorite movie is, it depends on the mood I am. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is probably my all-time favorite movie.
Yeah,
But realistically, deep down, it's either Point Break or Roadhouse.
right.
So if,
I'm
if
right
it's
there with
Point
you.
Break, we're going to be
We're
okay. So we
we'll go
want.
ahead and film it right after this one.
So let me do something here.
I think so. My top, I'd say my top three movies, and it's a tie for first. Dark Knight with Heath Ledger, and then Avengers: Infinity War, and then probably so those are tied for one, and then probably my second favorite movie of all time has got to be Dodgeball.
Dodgeball.
Yeah,
Really? That's your
yeah,
I never would have guessed that. All right, so they gave me 10 movies. You want me to just say pick one?
Yep,
Okay. Let me share my screen so we can share this with the audience.
that sounds good.
By the way, I'm a huge Buffalo Bills fan. We were talking about the Bills before this. Josh Allen, the quarterback of the Bills, his favorite actor is Will Ferrell, and one of his favorite all-time movies is Step Brothers. So I know he's a big fan of the show. Hopefully, he's watching. Um, so maybe we
Well,
can
I,
get.
I think we'd like to, yeah, extend just an invitation to Josh Allen. If anyone knows him, please have him reach out to us. We would love to have him on the show reviewing a movie with us.
Okay, so let me see what I can do and pull up the thing here. All right, so the movies that we have, Terminator 2,
Oh, this is a good list right here.
that's a great movie. All right, I'm going to admit something. I've never seen The Matrix. Okay.
Oh, all right. All right. You were
All right,
missing
but
out, my friend.
but but we are going to let ChatGPT pick one of these because I will
All
say
right.
pick
Let,
one.
let's
Uh,
see. Uh,
Die Hard with the Vengeance. I love
I,
that movie.
I watched that one within the last year, so that one was a fun one. Oh, dude,
Yep.
Speed's up there. Speed's close to Point Break and Roadhouse for me. The Rock. Oh, look. Let's go.
I had The Rock on the other day. My kid walked in. I had to change it. Um,
Welcome to the Rock.
The Bourne Identity.
Yeah, that's a
Seen
good
it
one.
once or twice. There's the Holy Grail. It's
Yep.
arguably our all-time favorite movie, even though we don't want to admit it.
Yep.
Bad Boys,
AI was listening to our conversation, I think.
as always, that's weird.
Bad Boys is what, Will Smith and Martin
Mm.
Lawrence?
I've seen Bad Boys 2. I don't think I've ever seen Bad Boys 1.
I think it had is it Tia Leone? Was she the
Yes, that's right. She's in
yeah.
it. Yeah.
First one, the second one, so the first one I don't remember much. The second one I thought was fantastic.
So
Gladiator,
the,
that's a fantastic one.
I've seen most of it, but not all the way through. 300 I've never seen.
That one's also very, very good. Oh, look, let's see honorable mention. Oh, Con Air. Is this just a Nicolas Cage?
Well, it says over the top, so
Oh, if you want something more over the top. What about the movie Over the Top? Is that in there?
we said 1990. That movie came out in 86.
Oh no. All right, we may have to just throw that one in as a bonus feature for everyone.
Rush Hour, great movie. True Lies, very good as
Yep.
well. If you want comic books, Spider-Man 2 and X-Men 2. So,
All right.
all
Of
right.
all the Tobey Maguire ones, though, the first one to me is the best.
Ready? Pick one.
Yep. Yep. Let's do it. Drum roll. Let's go. This may be the greatest thing that's ever happened.
I think next week's podcast is going to be like 6 hours long.
I'm
We,
gonna,
we could honestly do it now. I've seen this movie probably 50 times.
yeah. Um, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm very excited, and I'm probably gonna watch it about 5 times just to make sure I don't miss anything with Gary Busey's character. That one guy from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Anthony Colitis, or whatever his name is.
Bodie.
He may or may not have
Bodie.
shot himself in the foot allegedly.
Oh man, oh happy day.
All
Oh
right.
happy day. Oh man. Now here's a question, and I don't know if we can I don't know if we can pull this off. I wonder if I could find a Bodie wig and you could find a Johnny Utah wig.
I will wear something that has Ohio State Buckeyes on it because that's what you
I wonder if I
popular
could.
football.
I wonder if I could find a. I may have to be. I may have to be eating a meatball sub with some lemonade.
Two of them. I, you know, I don't know how many of these we'll end up doing, whether we end up doing this for like the next 20 years, but I honestly believe we put together this podcast so we could review this one movie, and it was the third podcast. This
You know,
is,
with those 10 movies that it pulled for action, we may have to pull another one of those for the following week because those all of those movies were quite fantastic.
yeah.
So, all
Well,
right,
I'm
man, are we
looking forward
good?
to this one. I'm good. I'm happy about this one.
Yeah, this one's a good one. Signing off. Forget it, cuz. Let's go. All right, see you, brother.
See ya.